job done and get along well with everybody and all those kinds of things. You should always check with your reference before you put them on your list. Make sure it's okay. Let them know what you're applying to. Maybe even give them a copy of your resume or a copy of the announcements you're applying to so that they give an appropriate reference. If your goals change, make sure your reference knows that. So again, they're speaking to the, highlighting the right things about you. So this is typically what it would look like. You'd have your same letterhead on the top, and then just the contact information for your references. So, and I would just do the name, mailing address, phone number, email address. Yes?
Do you recommend any, like, because I see on that one there's a professor, or two professors, and then someone I worked with, but is there any, like, oh, it's always better to have this, or it's always better to have that?
Ideally, it'd be good to have at least one professor from here, which I know is challenging in your first semester, especially being in a large lecture hall. But ideally, and that's something you want to work towards. So cultivate a relationship with your professors, go to office hours, get to know them, have them get to know you, so that they can speak about you instead of just saying, oh yes, she sat in the third row and always wore a blue jacket. I mean, you want there to be substance. It's good to have at least one employer, so someone who can comment about you in a work setting, and then sort of filling in after that. So, a college professor, if they worked with you very closely on a research project and it's relatively recent, that might be fine now. As you move through law school, I'd probably drop the college professor, use law school professors and folks from your internships. Legal employers want writing samples, and so for you, really the only source you have are your writing and research assignments. What they're most interested in is your ability to do legal analysis. They care a lot less about facts, just description of the facts. They really want to see, do you understand how to apply a particular rule to a particular set of facts? And how do you work that through and come up with an answer? That's what they want to see. They do care about citation form and grammar and spelling and all of that. So proofread everything. If you get comments from your instructor, go back, take a look, clean things up, and give a clean copy. I usually recommend having a cover sheet, which I'll show you in a moment, because all of your memos are going to look the same. Like if it just says like a dear senior partner at the top, it's hard to quickly distinguish your document from somebody else's. And so for that reason, I also recommend using a footer with your name in it, and make sure it has page numbers so that, especially if they get 10 memos and they're all dealing with the same fact pattern, and there's a snafu with the photocopier and things get all messed up, you want your name on your document. Actually, I don't have the here. So the cover would look just like this. There's just your letterhead on the top. It'll say writing sample. You might just say, I am attaching an excerpt from this or that paper. If it was done from the real world, you might mention that, this is a successful summary judgment motion, or I prepared this for my writing and research class, just something to give some context. And this is particularly helpful if you're just doing an excerpt, because you might be starting on page 7, and so you want to orient the reader as to why you're starting in the middle. Transcripts, not all employers care about grades, and at this stage of the game, a lot of them don't, but if they ask for it, you need to provide it. They ask for it, you give it. I recommend getting a copy of your transcript each semester so you have it on hand. Most employers don't want the official one, and especially since most applications are electronic now, what we recommend is that you create a grade report. And so we have what we call an unofficial grade sheet template that you can download from LCS Online. It's simply a Word document, and you just fill in the boxes. So if you have your official transcript in front of you, you guys are just transcribing it and putting it in here. Be careful. This is one of those places where an honest, inadvertent clerical error could get you into a lot of trouble if you don't represent your grades accurately. And this is what you would do. And then, they're usually like several blank grids, so you don't have to give a 2-page transcript that's a page and a half of blank grids. You could delete the blank one, so it's just a 1-page document for you at this stage of the game. But this is what you would do. Definitely save this as a PDF. You don't want anyone to be able to tamper with your transcript. And so save it as a PDF before submitting it. So a couple of steps to help you achieve perfection or as close to it with your materials. Come to this workshop, which you've done. So congratulations, you're well on your way. We do have handouts that offer a lot more detail. So we have them on all of your resume, cover letter, transcript, all of those, and you can download them from LCS online, or you can just pop into the office and grab hard copies. After you've had a chance to reflect on what we talked about and look at the materials, sit down with your documents, do your best to edit them, kind of channeling what you've learned from us, and then come on in. So make an appointment. You can meet with any of the counselors at LCS. We can sit down for a half hour and go through your documents, and we'll give you feedback and give you suggestions. If you're really struggling, I can't write my cover letter, or I don't know what to put in paragraph 3, come on in, and we'll give you some ideas and help give you a framework that you can use to get some momentum with those documents. In early January, we will likely do some drop-in review hours as well, because there's some deadlines that happen then, and so we'll be promoting those. So in addition to the sort of half hour, you have our full attention, you can always come in for those sort of quicker drop-in hours. But I would say start with the half-hour sessions first. The later drop-in ones are meant to just kind of polish up any last-minute details. So there are some important dates I want you to know about. December 1st is the first day you're allowed to apply for positions. So, and I'm not saying you have to like put finals aside and apply for jobs. It's fine to wait until your finals are over and then begin applying. But you want to start looking at applications. There are a lot of internships and job opportunities that will have open applications between December and January. So you don't want to wait too long. The Getting on Track sessions, mandatory sessions, begin on December 9th. If you have not set up one yet, please log into LCS Online and reserve a spot in a session you want to attend. We have blue flyers there that show you how to do it. Most of you hopefully know about the Public Interest Public Sector Day Job Fair that will take place in February at Hastings. If you'd like to or be considered for interviews with any of the participating organizations, you will need to apply on a special website by January 20th. So on December 15th, you'll get an email that has unique login information to this particular website. It looks an awful lot like LCS Online, but it is a completely separate website. They don't talk to each other. So if you're applying for PIPS Day, you log into that system, upload your documents there, just for the limited purpose of this job fair. So keep your eye open. On December 15th is when you get that email. And a list, you can search then all the participating employers, and you can come in and chat with us about your cover letters and your applications and that kind of stuff. I do also want to highlight an opportunity you may not be aware of. It's called the Judicial Intern Opportunity Program. It is run through the ABA, and it is a paid summer internship with a judge for students who are minorities or come from economically disadvantaged backgrounds. And so there's a lot of information on LCS Online about those opportunities. I encourage you to consider that if you're interested in working for a judge. There are lots of other opportunities to work for a judge outside of that program, and I'm happy to talk to you about those as well. Those are the deadlines for PIPS Day, and that's where you can find us. Any final questions? Yes?
I believe someone told us that our grades wouldn't be released until the very beginning of, or very close to the second semester's start time. So, and that's not until January 8th, I think, or I forget. But, so we wouldn't even have transcripts or anything to give. So do we just apply, and do we note that anywhere that transcripts will be available on this date, or?
So a couple things. So typically, if an employer doesn't specify, I would only send a resume and cover letter. I wouldn't overwhelm them with all the extra stuff. If they've requested a transcript and you have not yet received your grades, you can let them know that, and that you'll follow up separately with the transcript. Golden Gate tends to get grade 1L grades out sooner than the other schools, what I've observed. So I don't think it'll be an issue, and certainly by that January 20th deadline, usually our 1L grades are out by then. So it hasn't been an issue for us in the past, but if you say we don't have them yet, well, chances are students from the other schools don't have grades either, so I don't think it'll disadvantage you. But if you're not able to comply with the employer's request, you at least want to address it so they don't think you just forgot.